So, you're a beginner and want to make more damage and get more defense. Well, good news for you. I'll show you how to get more damage and also get more defense at the same time. So anyways, here we go. So firstly, let's measure everything first. So don't mind all of these. So we have no tips yet, so none of the mentioned tips. Everything is disabled. So here, with the rogue sword, clean rogue sword, let's see how much we deal. So firstly, we have to find a lapis zombie, and we only deal around 32-ish damage, and 49 for max. So with all of that, it isn't that much good of a weapon, and not that good of a, well, a whole set. Even though with lapis armor, you still don't get that much damage. So the first tip, the first and good tip is talismans. So why talismans? Well, talismans, they give you small buffs, but if you reforge them, they do give you, well, extra crit chance, extra crit damage, and extra strength, which all applies to more damage. I mean, it depends on the rarity, but all of them give extra damage, which is good. So the ones that I recommend the most are the the farming talisman. No need to mention that yet. The farming talisman, the zombie talisman, and the skeleton talisman. So why them? So in my opinion, these are one of the cheapest, or the literal cheapest talismans that you could get. I mean, you do need to collect all of them, but it is really useful. I mean, one is not enough, but if you add a lot of them, in the future, it would make very, very good use, and you'll get a lot more damage than what you're used to. So with all of that, I do have one Zealous and one Itchy. So I recommend you guys going for Godly and Itchy. Zealous is meh, but other than that, it's okay. So instead of placing them in your inventory, one way to, well, store talismans effectively is mining redstone. So I think if you have 250 redstone in the collection, you could get a small talisman bag, which means you could fit 3 of those talismans. But in the future, as you get more redstone, you will have more slots as well. So with that in mind, let's go back to the lapis quarry and let's see how much damage we deal right now. So we're back here and let's see how much damage we deal right now. We now deal 52 crit, 33 base. So with all of that, it is not bad, but it could be worse. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this, well, way more higher than this. So let's go to the next step. Firstly, what you have to do here is go here and go and get the common biped. I mean, the difference between the common, the rare, the epic, and the legendary is that you have, well, more intelligence and strength on the abilities. But all in all, the base stats are basically the same. Plus 50 intelligence, plus 30 strength, and plus 10 speed. But if you do get only a level 1, which I have right here, or the level 1 is just 0 intelligence, plus 5 strength, and plus 0 speed. So we have here our pet B, and the way to upgrade them so that you could get more damage out of them is by getting combat XP or any XP of your choice. So, in my opinion, a mix of everything is a good way to get to level up your pet. And with all of that, you do get much more damage with it. So, anyways, let's go back and see how much damage we get with our level 2B. Alright, so we're back here in the Lapis Quarry, and when we deal damage to one of the Lapis zombies, we now deal around 36 damage on base, and how much on crit? I'm getting crowded. So, let's get to one of the other Lapis zombies so that we could get a more accurate 36, 32. Stop stealing my kill. Uh, how many? Sorry for the bad internet. Oh, and I died. Just wait. Alright, so second attempt on trying to hit. So we get 57 on crit. Which, compared to last one's 47 or 33, it is a good small improvement. But one of the biggest improvements. Well, it is also beside talisman and skills plus the pets, which is getting a better sword. So if you want to specifically kill or defeat zombies, you could get yourself something with smite. So what smite does is that it deals more damage towards zombies and undead mobs. Which, I mean, it is good for the most part, but when you want to get more mobs like enderman, spiders, and other stuff, it's not gonna be as effective compared to zombies. But something like sharpness is the best way to go, because not only you could deal more damage to undead mobs, you could also deal more damage to everything else, which includes mid and end game mobs like the slayer mobs and the endermen, the zealots, the obsidian defenders and stuff. So with the rogue sword, you only get plus 20 damage. In my opinion, if you want to get a good sword, you could skip the undead sword. It's meh. I prefer you getting cleaver for the first part, then going to silver fang, because both the cleaver and the fang both give a reasonable amount of damage and strength. And combine those together, and plus a reforge, which is very important. You need to reforge everything you have, because if you don't reforge, it's just gonna be sad for you. It also gives you extra crit chance and crit damage if you reforge all of the armor pieces that you have, regardless of any armor piece. If you upgrade them to godly, you do get a lot of extra attack damage, crit damage and crit chance. So with all of them combined, you do have around 75 damage towards base and 118 on crit. But if you like I said, something that is specifically for zombies, well, getting the smite enchantment improves stuff by a lot. So if you go here, 104 on base, and when you go to crit, it's I think 170 something, which is very good. So to compress them all together, I would say go ahead, collect all of the talisman. Doesn't matter, you have to collect all of them. That's what everyone's doing. If you run out of space in the accessories, going to the inventory is perfectly fine. And you should at least get a cleaver or a silver fang before you could enter, let's say, the end or anything else, because you cannot get very far with only just, well, weapons like this. Ember rods, I don't think they're okay, I guess, but I would choose the silver fang over it. So if you keep grinding and grinding, as soon as you get more talismans, enchant your stuff to the max, let's say sharpness 5, all of the god stuff, and you could probably one-shot zombies or even the obsidian sanctuary mobs with only just your hand, which I have done on my other account. And let's say if you grind a lot, you will probably end up like me, which I'll show an example right now. So a good example is probably this. So if you keep on reforging, you could literally one-shot a zombie, one-shot a zombie like that, which is very impressive. So if you keep on grinding like me for months and months, never ending, you could, well, one-shot lapis zombies, maybe even obsidian sanctuary mobs with only your fist. And like I said, just keep on grinding, keep on enchanting, get the enchantments that I have like in my Raider Axe. Hot potato books, all of that stuff, I'm gonna talk about it in the next video, more complex stuff. And other than that, the last thing, which is very important, is combat combat XP. So combat XP increases your damage. Another example is going through my skills. So the stats that you want to grind is foraging and combat. So why those two? Because foraging, let's say every level gives you at least +1 strength, plus gives you some coins in the meantime. So, excuse me. So if you go here, I meant here, you could see that it gives you +1 strength every time. Plus logs, which is unrelated anyways. So +1 strength gives you very good damage. But combat is also important, so just grind both of these as long as you can. And with combat, it gives you more damage to all mobs, +1 crit chance, which is very important. If you want those 105 damage or more than the base damage, you have to get a lot of crit chance, which is really, really important. And as you could see here, I do have a lot of talismans. So that's basically it for very, very simple ways of getting much more damage towards zombies, and maybe even the future, much more stronger enemies. So see you guys in the next video. Sorry if this video is short. And lastly, bye guys.